on your bookshelf right now. If you haven't read it, you need to go get it. Any good CEO leader needs to read Good to Great by Jim Collins and his team. Good to Great has a chapter that I recommend you read before you go into developing a great mission statement. And that chapter is called The Hedgehog Concept, Chapter 5. And there's a parable that goes with this, and I won't spend a lot of time on it. I'm sure most of you have heard it on the phone. But there's the hedgehog and there's the fox. And the whole point of the parable is that every single day, the hedgehog comes out of his hole and goes down to the water to get into the watering hole to get a drink. And every single day, the fox is waiting for the hedgehog to come out of his hole. And the fox is crafty, and he pursues many things. And every single day, the fox tries a different way to get the hedgehog. And so the fox one day might jump out of a tree, and the next day he might come from behind, and the next day he might stand above the hole and jump down and try to jump down on the hedgehog. Every single day, the fox tries something different. And every single day, the hedgehog simplifies the complex world into one single organized idea and basically balls up in a ball. And by balling up in the ball, the hedgehog, defeats the fox day in and day out. There's no fear of the fox. The hedgehog does the same thing over and over and over, balling up in a ball, defeats the fox day in and day out. So the point here is very evident. The more simple you can make the complex, the better. So there are 3 questions that Collins and his team determined were great questions to help you simplify your complex world into one single organized idea. And they call the hedgehog concept the intersection of those 3 circles. And those 3 circles are driven by 3 distinct questions. So those questions are, what are you deeply passionate about? It doesn't have to be a product, and it shouldn't be a product in my opinion. It should be what the company stands for. A lot of times I like to ask the entrepreneur, the CEO, why are you here? Why did you start this business? And sometimes you have to dig a little deeper because there might be an embarrassment or a lack of willingness to really talk about the real reason. But the more real, the better. Let that emotion come out. What are you deeply passionate about? Now, it's a little more difficult if you're sitting back answering making money. It's a little difficult, but put that in. It's a little difficult to create a passion-driven mission statement if it's all about making money. But that it is what it is, and you'll answer on your own terms. The second question is, what can you be the best in the world at? Now, it's interesting. I actually consult, Scale Passion and Launch Natural are all about consulting with change the world entrepreneurs. In fact, I've told many an entrepreneur that was just money focused that they're not the right client for me. And I've even consulted with some nonprofits, and every single time I do a strategic retreat to help them try to figure out their mission statement, I ask this question: what can you be the best in the world at? It's an intriguing question, and even nonprofits, even small nonprofits, can be the best in the world at something. Okay, so it's not a goal; it's an understanding. It must be core to your business, is what Jim Collins and the folks at Good to Great like to say. But I believe that, and Jim has proven, that the best of the best know what they can be the best in the world at, and being able to discuss that helps you to clarify what it is you want to put into your mission. So we'll talk about that, and I'll give you some examples as we go forward. And lastly, what drives your economic engine? Interesting one, huh, on the hedgehog? Jim Collins says that knowing what drives your economic engine helps you to focus on what's important. And it's actually key denominator driven, meaning it's something per X, so profit per employee or sales per store. So being able to put that per and have a key denominator in there, the denominator helps you focus on the key stakeholder that's important, focus on the part of your business that's important, focus on that aspect of your business that is absolutely important. And a lot of times that key denominator from what drives your economic engine shows up in your mission statement. Okay, and I'll show you. Now, when I ran a company called New Organics as CEO, we went through this process. So I'm going to share with you what we came up with and how it led to our mission statement at New Organics. So first we asked, what were we deeply passionate about? And I had a VP of sales, I had a CFO, I had a VP of ops, I had the founders, and the 3 founders in the room who were all key stakeholders. And we did two days worth of strategic planning. We spent a good half day on the mission statement. And this was the quick list of what we came up with. Now, these 5 bullet points were boiled down from probably 5 sheets of white paper hung on the wall and written and scribbled all over. And we spent a lot of time talking about what are we deeply passionate about, and we boiled it down to these things: educating the world, helping our organic industry. It was an organic distribution company. Helping our industry really move towards a vision of a healthier planet was important. Stewardship, doing what we love and knowing it's making a difference in the world and doing it for others was big in terms of passion. Innovation of products and practices, reputation, and growth all hit our list of what we were most passionate about at New Organics. Again, that was boiled down after several hours of discussion. So then we started talking about what can we be best in the world at. And I'll stop right here and I'll say that before we got to this part of the process in the strategic retreat, we had just looked at our Know Thy Market segment. And our customers were telling us some things that really floated to the surface. And one of the things our customers was telling us, one of the things that they were telling us was that they were really concerned about the complexity involved in buying organic products. So buying an organic product is very complex. And so when you're talking to a craft who doesn't have access to organic products, let's just say, the whole process of doing a transaction related to organics is very, very complicated. So we kept hearing that over and over and over again. So as a part of that process, we were able to go back and look at what our customers were saying about the industry we were in, not just about us, but the industry we were in. And that really led us to some great conclusions that ended up in this slide right here. So we came up with this as what we thought we could be the best in the world at. We believe that our company could be the best in the world at simplifying our customer's life and adding value to a healthy ingredient purchase. So the word simplifying is a very powerful word there. So simplifying our customer's life, connecting buyers of organic natural ingredients with those that grow it, so being a good connector, providing valuable knowledge and ideas, providing visibility and access to the global supply chain. And the last bullet here, which should be really noted, I think, is that we cannot be the best in the world at providing a one-stop shopping experience for our customers. At the time when we did an acquisition, the company we acquired was trying to be a one-stop shop in the organic market. And so we found it to be so important that not be a part of our mission that we actually stated it right here on this slide, what can we be best in the world at? And a lot of times you might need to do the same thing. If you're getting caught in a loop of not being able to focus, being able to jump in and say we can never be the best in the world at something or this should not be in our mission is very, very powerful. So then we asked ourselves, what will it take to become the best in the world at this? So if it's all about simplifying and adding value, we talked about technology, we talked about talented employees, we talked about a connection to the marketplace. So those became some of the core objectives for our company as we move forward in terms of making ourselves best in the world, stating that we could be best in the world. And I think you'll see how when we start talking about what can we be best in the world at, this question is very powerful in terms of creating a wonderful mission statement because it makes your mission statement motivational. So then we asked, given our new focus, what will drive our economic engine? So what is that one thing that will help us drive our economic engine and drive growth? And we came up with gross profit dollars per transaction. And per transaction is really that comes back to that simplification, right? The simplification of each transaction. So we wanted to drive a transaction view. Again, all of this boiled down after several hours of conversation, boiled it down to some key thoughts, lots of brainstorming, lots of circling, lots of grouping key ideas. So what does that mean? We need to focus on an understanding of transaction costs. We need a clear customer segmentation because our customers were different. We had farmer customers, we had manufacturer customers, we had baking customers, we had other distributors that were customers. So understanding who they were and what the transaction meant to them is also going to be very important for us to squeeze all the gross profit dollars we could per transaction. And then a focus on controlling transaction expenses. So all those things lead to what can we do to really drive our economic engine around gross profit dollars per transaction. And I put this in, and I want to emphasize the importance of this again. Understanding what drives your economic engine, reading the chapter Good to Great, and going through that process. All these things are good variables, are good discussion points that I believe lead to a great mission statement. So this is how it all looked in the end. Our hedgehog, if you will. We can be the best in the world at simplifying our customer's life and adding value to the healthy ingredient purchase. Gross profit per transaction drives our economic engine, and we have a passion for making the world a healthier place, is how we boiled all that down.